Do you have any predictions on the crypto market?
Well, I'm definitely a bullish person in terms of Bitcoin, and I believe that after this presidential election and after Corona is over, I believe the next year that crypto will be multiples of what the price is at right now.
Hmm. Yeah, the halving's coming soon, I believe next month, and most people say that the price, the event is not priced in, and when the increase in supply is reduced to half of that, to 6.25 Bitcoin, then yeah, if demand stays at the same level, then it's just pure simple math. I mean, more demand, less supply, and the price naturally has to rise.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah. And then any thoughts on what the Fed is doing and how the government is trying to manage this situation?
I think that the regulation of cryptocurrency is definitely something that has not happened. I don't think that they are going to really put the time into doing that until they have like a much larger buy-in into the use of cryptocurrency. Because right now, people aren't using it as the main currency, or even like a major sense of currency around the world. There's a lot of people that are doing it, but it's definitely a minority. As adoption starts taking place, I believe that there will be a lot more regulation than there is right now. I think that there's been a lot of people who right now have been attempting to make it easier to buy stuff, and I accept all cryptocurrencies for our products and services. Mostly we get Bitcoin and Ethereum for our products and services. We were one of the first companies that is willing to accept any cryptocurrency for our products and services. Yet I think most businesses are not willing to do that yet. There's a lot of concern and a lot of unknowns and a lot of misunderstandings what cryptocurrency is. In the long run, I definitely expect that to change. And at that time, I think there'll be a lot more government interest in regulating that.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on how the Fed is printing $6+ trillion in order to support the economy? Do you think that's the solution?
I think that the Fed is definitely run by some really smart people. Yet at the same time, the solution isn't going to be done from just one thing, like printing more money. What the solution I believe that you're referring to is like how to have a better, more thriving economy where people are getting what they need and want. And I think that what's going to happen is that consumers are going to dictate what demand is going to be based upon their own actions, what they support, what they don't support. I think a lot of it will also depend on how cryptocurrency is managed in terms of how it's used. Is it safe? And seeing actual markets being used to trade in services that people are using every day, as opposed to what we're seeing in cash. I'm very fascinated though by how the U.S. dollar has surprised me. I was expecting that when the dollar or the U.S. markets drop, we would see a larger interest in Bitcoin, but that hasn't happened yet. So I guess what I'm really curious about is how those things are going to change when we see these big things. I mean, things like larger growth in the U.S. economy. Will that increase Bitcoin? And what happens when Bitcoin is being used by more publishers and consumers? I think that if you start seeing Amazon and other big marketplaces taking Bitcoin, that's when things are probably going to make some big shifts.
Yeah, definitely.